in the leadership.
Well, this is fighting for position, but I mean, Caitlin Clark issued a technical foul. You can hear the crowd react,
and Clark is perplexed.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. Man, this was a massive game, and I don't say that lightly. This was one of those games from Caitlin Clark that people are going to remember for a long time. This was one of those performances where years from now, fans are going to pull up the highlights and say, yup, that was one of the nights when Caitlin Clark completely took over. Because let's be honest about what happened here. The Indiana Fever looked dead in the water. They looked finished. They looked completely out of answers. The scoreboard said it all. The Fever were down 19-3. 19-3. Think about that for a second. The offense was stuck in mud, nothing was working, nobody could make a shot, the spacing looked terrible, the energy wasn't there, the confidence wasn't there. The only thing that saved the first quarter from looking even worse was the buzzer beater that made it 19-6. And when you're watching a start like that, you're thinking this game is over. You're thinking the Phoenix Mercury are about to run Indiana out of the building. Now, let's talk about Kelsey Mitchell, because this game was the perfect example of the Kelsey Mitchell experience. Everybody knows Kelsey Mitchell can score. Everybody knows Kelsey Mitchell can catch fire. Everybody knows Kelsey Mitchell is one of the most gifted scorers in the league. But everybody also knows there are nights when the shots don't fall and things can get rough. And for most of this game, I thought this was one of those rough nights. Now, when you look at the box score, you're going to see 22 points. You're going to see the scoring. You're going to see the final numbers. But if you actually watched the game, you know there was a long stretch where Kelsey Mitchell simply wasn't helping the Indiana Fever. She eventually had a great burst. She had a fantastic stretch where she got hot and knocked down shots. But for most of the night, this game belonged to one player, and that player was Caitlin Clark. It is crystal clear who the best player on the Indiana Fever is. There is no debate, there is no discussion, there is no confusion. Everything runs through Caitlin Clark. Everything. The commentators even talked about it. During the break between quarters, Caitlin Clark was pulling teammates together and telling them to run, move, cut, push the pace, keep attacking. She was taking control. She was acting like the leader of the team. And then the second quarter started. Now, here's the funny thing. Caitlin Clark didn't start the game well. She missed shots, she turned the ball over, she was pressing, she missed her first 5 shots. But here's the difference between great players and average players. Great players don't stop. Great players don't become passive. Great players keep attacking. And Caitlin Clark kept attacking. She kept pushing the pace. She kept creating opportunities. She kept putting pressure on the defense. And eventually, everything changed. The second quarter was pure domination. 15 points, 3 assists, complete control of the game. It was one of the best quarters of basketball Caitlin Clark has ever played. The Fever went from being down 16 points to suddenly being tied. Then they took the lead. Then they started building separation. Then they started looking like the better basketball team. And it all started with Caitlin Clark. The shots started falling, the passing started opening up, the tempo changed, the energy changed, the confidence changed. Everything changed. That's what superstars do. Superstars change games, and that's exactly what Caitlin Clark did. She completely flipped the entire contest on its head. At one point, she had gone from 0 points in the first quarter to putting together a stat line that looked ridiculous before the third quarter was even finished. And every time Phoenix Mercury tried to respond, Caitlin Clark had another answer, another shot, another pass, another drive, another play. Then came the drama. And if you watched the game, you know exactly what I'm talking about. The tension started building. Players started getting frustrated. The emotions started rising. And eventually, things boiled over. The situation involving Caitlin Clark and DeWanna Bonner became one of the biggest talking points of the game. Caitlin Clark was battling, DeWanna Bonner was battling, physical basketball was being played. Then contact happened. Players got involved. Maisha Hines-Allen got involved. Alyssa Thomas got involved. Everybody started gathering around. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark basically walked away from the situation, and then, somehow, she ended up with a technical foul. That was the moment where everybody was confused. Fans were confused, commentators were confused, Caitlin Clark looked confused. She was literally looking around wondering what she had done, because from her perspective, she got hit and then got penalized. That became one of the strangest moments of the entire game.
Pick up the tech tonight, 5th of the season.
It's ridiculous. I got a technical for clapping. So like if we should all just go on the calendar now and pick a game that I'm going to be suspended for if I'm going to get technicals for clapping. I asked Gerda. Gerda said that I got a technical for clapping. So if any technical should be taken away, it should be that one. If it's truly for clapping, that's what they said they gave it to me for was for clapping. So it's just ridiculous. I don't understand it at all.
So even within that though, how aware do you have to be of the 8 technical fouls you
I mean, I'm going to
for a
play
game?
with emotion. I'm going to play with passion. And if they're going to give me a technical foul for clapping, then so be it. That's their choice. And the league can come back and review that play, and I'd love to hear what they say of the reasoning of why I got the technical foul in that situation and why other players on their team didn't get a technical foul in that situation. If anything, split it. Okay, fine. Everybody gets a technical foul. That wasn't how they were handed out. So I'd love to know. But obviously, that's what I went to Gerda and said. I said, why'd you give me a technical foul? She said, because I was clapping and instigating. I said, okay. And you just don't like competitive basketball. And that's just facts. That's just reality. So disappointing from them.
The illegal contact is initiated by Caitlin Clark. She comes across the arm, into the body and hip of Thomas. The result of the play will be 2 free throws because of the defensive foul, and we're in the penalty.
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
Timeout will be charged in Indiana because they're due. Phoenix will retain their timeout.
They're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're not even trying to hide it anymore. How is this a foul?
CC22 double bot for Venom.
This? She threw an elbow. She threw an elbow not once, twice. Twice.
She could have caught.
And of course, Stephanie White's handsy with her. Brianna January's handsy with her.
Yes. But the officials
Oh
are
my
saying
gosh.
AT. Frustrating because
I'm at a loss for words right now.
You saw it earlier too, like
Bro,
that's that much.
hold on line. Caitlin Clark is up. AT missed the first free throw. Oh, she said bitch. Caitlin Clark just called. She dropped the B word. And she missed both free throws. Caitlin hyping the crowd up. Oh my gosh, Chet.
A lot of adversity in this game, being down by 16 in the first quarter, and then things really grinded to a halt in that fourth quarter. How are you guys able to withstand all of that?
Well, I mean, obviously, I appreciate the refs just calling the foul so it didn't get completely out of hand, but that might have been on record the longest fourth quarter in history of the WNBA. I don't know. It feels like it's midnight right now, but just proud of our group, especially from the way we bounced back after the first quarter, where really we scored 6 points, but we had 3 there with like a half a second. So we figured it out and battled and played good defense on the stretch.
Yeah, under 80 points that you allowed in this game. What did you like defensively in the effort tonight?
Yeah, we just, I think we got the ball out of AT's hands. We got them into some harder shots. We contested around the rim, and then we rebounded, and then we pushed in transition. Thought we could do a little bit better jobs in our schemes and what we're trying to do scout-wise, but play them again in a day. So we'll go back to the drawing board and come up with another plan.
I was just about to ask you, things got a little heated in this game, and you've got this team again on Wednesday. What's important as you prepare for that matchup?
Just stay focused on the goal. Stay focused on the goal, and that's to win the game. Leave everything else aside and just go out there and compete.
Caitlin, thanks for the time.
Yeah, thank you.
But honestly, it wasn't even the funniest moment. The funniest moment belonged to Sophie Cunningham. Because while everyone else was angry, Sophie Cunningham was standing there pointing at DeWanna Bonner. That's it. Just pointing. No screaming, no yelling, no dramatic gestures, just pointing. And the more Sophie Cunningham pointed, the angrier DeWanna Bonner became. It was honestly one of the funniest sequences of the season. Sophie Cunningham looked completely amused. DeWanna Bonner looked completely annoyed. And somehow, Sophie Cunningham ended up getting a technical foul for pointing. A technical foul for pointing. That has to be one of the funniest technical fouls you'll ever see. By the fourth quarter, the referees were calling everything, every bump, every push, every piece of contact. They clearly wanted to make sure things didn't get out of hand. But the story of the game had already been written. The story was Caitlin Clark. The story was leadership. The story was resilience. The story was refusing to quit. Because when this game started, the Indiana Fever looked finished. They looked like a team that had no chance. They looked like a team that was about to get embarrassed. Instead, Caitlin Clark completely changed the direction of the night. Now, I also want to give credit to Monique Billings. Monique Billings was outstanding. She brought toughness, she brought energy, she brought effort. Every minute she was on the floor mattered. I thought Raven played well. I thought Misha Hines-Allen embraced her role perfectly. Those players helped change the game. But the engine behind everything was Caitlin Clark. When Aaliyah Boston was struggling, when Kelsey Mitchell wasn't at her best, when the offense couldn't get going, when the team looked defeated, Caitlin Clark carried them. Points, assists, tempo, leadership, everything. She put the Indiana Fever on her back. The most impressive thing wasn't even the numbers. The most impressive thing was the response. She started slowly, she missed shots, she made mistakes, and then she completely took over. That's what great players do. That's what franchise players do. That's what superstars do. And at the end of the night, Caitlin Clark finished with 24 points and 9 assists. An incredible performance, an unforgettable performance, and honestly, one of the best games of her career. The Indiana Fever needed somebody to step up. Caitlin Clark answered the call. Once again. And that's why this game is going to be remembered for a very long time. Tell me what you think. Don't forget, like and subscribe.